Great to have you with us here. Bassmaster Live. We've been away for a few weeks. We are back in the swing of it, 2024. Bassmaster Elite Series. This is stop number 6 of 9 events of this year. The Wheeler Lake, Decatur, Alabama, Whataburger Elite. This is day 1 of 4 days of fishing. Our live coverage brought to us by the folks at FXR. Thank you for that. We've seen some great pictures here today. Fish catching has been a little more diverse, maybe, than we usually have in a bass fishing tournament anymore. And we got a diverse top 10 if you'll look at those anglers right there. We have but one rookie in our top 10, which is, again, something a little bit unusual for this day and age for the year of 2024. But John Cruz, that's an example of things that don't change. John Cruz was the leader on day number 1 back in 2016, the last time the Elite Series was here at Wheeler Lake. And he caught 20 pounds and 7 ounces. He's getting close to that now. Wound up 3rd in the tournament, so the more things change, the more they remain the same, Davey Height.
Yeah, I'll be so curious to talk to John this afternoon and see if he's actually fishing the same area with the same technique and catching basically the same fish, maybe the grandchildren of the fish that he caught in 2016. I don't know.
That's right. A few generations down.
What a great start to this event, and we all thought, man, there'll be a lot of diversity here on this lake. But I think it's even surprised us. And we just have to say one thing that you mentioned, to only have one rookie in the top 10 at this point unofficially is something we haven't seen in a very long time.
A little bit unusual. The rookies are very, very strong. Welcome to you here into the Bassmaster Studios, sponsored by Marathon. We got more coverage, going to take you all the way essentially to weigh-in time. And Ronnie Moore, of course, is with us. And Ronnie, I know you made mention of it before we even got started today. Big day as far as the success of this year for so many of our anglers.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, you're either fighting for Angler of the Year, you're fighting to maybe stay requalified for the Bassmaster Elite Series, and if your goal is still set for the Bassmaster Classic, you only have 8 guaranteed days left in the season. 4 events, Thursday and Friday of each day. You better catch them now and make it Saturday, Sunday, as many days as you can. And we know a couple guys, Gerald Swindle's one of them. We're not going to tiptoe around it. 94th in points coming into the event. Needs to get top 15s, top 20s over the next 2 to see how it may shake out and if he has a Classic Hopes shot going into the last 2 events.
You saw one of last year's stars, Joey Cifuentes, moving to the top 10 temporarily this morning, and he needs a win here.
Oh, he needs a couple of them for sure.
Yeah.
There are some people right now that are looking at that final event at the St. Lawrence River as their only hope to make the Classic. At this point, they're just trying to get their average, their AOI average better and not be 90th or 100th at the end of the year, maybe 70th, 65th.
The Such is also with us, Mike Sukon. He's working on an audio problem right now, so we had to miss him in the morning for one reason, now we miss him for another one. But right now, why don't we fill the gap with it to look at our midday report to see what has happened out there on Wheeler Lake on day number 1. Let's start with the Tennessee angler, Brandon Lester, very, very familiar with the Tennessee River.
Very consistent angler, no matter where we are in the country, but certainly knows the Tennessee River about as good as any elite angler that we have currently fishing. 78th place unofficially right now with only 3 pounds, 11 ounces. A little surprising, but I talked to Brandon yesterday, and you know, you talk to these anglers the day before the event starts, and a lot of times you hear a lot of skepticism, I guess, about, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. But when Brandon told me I spent the first 2 days of practice, full days, out on the main river, and I really just couldn't get it done, I believed him. I knew he was being honest with me, and you saw where he started shallow this morning, swim jig, frog, a little buzz bait. It just not has worked out very well for Brandon Lester so far.
Well, let's talk about Gerald Swindle. Gerald Swindle knows this place so very, very well, and so much experience here, success here in large measure in the past. And we heard him say just a few minutes ago, I'm slowly getting there, but it has been a little slow for him size-wise.
Yeah, but surprisingly slow. Like you mentioned, Gerald Swindle, a lot of experience up and down the Tennessee River at all these different lakes, and has had a lot of success also. A slow start for him. Also started on Decatur Flats. He's mixed it up. He's been main river. He's been all the way down towards the dam. And he has barely, little by little, upgraded. 712 is not bad. If he can get up around that 9, maybe even 10 pound range, he can certainly survive and have a chance to make it into that 50 cut tomorrow.
Logan Parks is a rookie who is the only rookie in our 6 that we're covering today, Ronnie Moore. But a lot of people were picking him to do well at this event right here.
Yeah, he did well in the Open last year in May. So they had shad spawn, some early Decatur Flats action, a little bit different situation here. But being from Alabama, fishing a lot of tournaments, having family in the region, he is not new to Wheeler Lake. So this isn't a home lake for him, but he feels very comfortable here. Just one of the many stops on the Tennessee River he's fished before.
He has been the picture of diversity today. We've seen him throw a lot of different things with some success.
A little bit of trial and error there, Davey, and you know it better than anybody. Offshore spots, Tennessee River, that is the name of the game. If you ever find a school that you can throw one bait on and catch them, they've never been fished for. Otherwise, you better rotate baits.
That's exactly right.
Well, of course, we've got our Progressive Bassmaster Angler of the Year points leader, as we always do on a day number one, and that, of course, is the rookie Trey McKinney.
Yeah, we just look at that. 31st place unofficially, and you see, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? But Elite Series rookie, most guys in most years would be happy with a decent start. 31st place unofficially, 10 pounds, 13 ounces. He's mixed it up quite a bit. We heard him talking to his friend JT Tompkins, and he said, hey, a lot of these places where I thought there would be groups of fish, 8 or 10 fish, they're gone. There's only a fish here and only a fish there. He's mixed it up quite a bit. This morning you see him there out in front of a seawall. He fished around some of the barge tie-ups. He's fished some of the stuff around Decatur Flats, a little bit of eelgrass. He's done a lot of different things, just small fish for Trey McKinney so far this morning.
The only thing that would be bad about 31st, Tommy, for Trey McKinney is if Jordan Lee was first right now, because that means his AOY lead would be 0 and they would be tied. But 31st otherwise, I think 99 other elite guys would take 31st.
Yes.
And way up the river is Wes Logan. Wes has just decided to get away from humanity today, and sometimes that's a good thing to do when you're trying to win a tournament.
It definitely is. Wes Logan with 13 pounds, 6 ounces unofficially. He has definitely mixed it up this morning. We saw him with nothing but a frog in his hand around those lily pads, and then he switched it up. Not a lot of success, but switched it up, pulled out a jig, and started pitching the bank, a little shade line along some of these deeper banks way up the Elk River. 13 pounds, 6 ounces, and we just saw him catch a fish a few minutes ago that he could not cull with because he had one fish that was deceased. Saw him break a big fish off earlier, so Wes Logan with some golden opportunities that he has not been able to take advantage of so far this morning.
What I do like to see, though, Davey, you know how a frog bite is. That used to be the bait that anglers would live and die by. You know, now it's like the glide bait and things like that. For Wes to have such a good frog bite in practice, to feel confident to do it, and know to put it down after a few hours. They're biting it different today. They're not doing. Put it down, and he was able to survive. That bite may come back in play later this week.
Steve Kennedy, we did not see in our midday report there, but we're going to catch up with him right now, and he spent most of his day far up the Tennessee River.
Oh, he's close, really close. Not doing well though. That is a keeper bass. Oh my goodness. Come on, give it up. I caught one.
What should I put that one in?
11 ounces. They do exist. With 2.
You got the Auburn University graffiti in the background too, which sort of makes the picture complete for Steve Kennedy.
I think he might have did that.
He might have done it himself. I wasn't going to
to
say it myself, but
It's hard to put a piece of bamboo in the ground there, Davey. So maybe it was the spray paint that marked the spot.
Yeah, you look at that, you say, what are the odds? But if you fished around the shoreline of Alabama, the state of Alabama very often, you see a lot of Auburn and Alabama graffiti.
Yeah, absolutely. A few roll tides here and there.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, you can only write about an ex-girlfriend so many times on that same rock.
Yeah, with that glide bait fish and the one I broke the hook on, I'd be feel like I had a chance still. We still got 2 hours, hour and a half. So he was out there on the
jig
bluff.
on the trees and
Look at
stuff,
that.
and I think that
Look back at
there's
it.
some big largemouth hanging around eating on the brim that were eating on the mayflies. But the mayfly hatches pretty much dwindled. So the fish that were here didn't just swim out into the middle of the lake though. Should still be here. At least for a little while. Been a pretty solid day though so far. I mean, I'm not gonna be in the lead, but dang sure better than practice was. And we're really one, solid bite away from having a really good day. So got one little rat that needs to go. I caught a 4-pounder and a 3-pounder right here on the stretch in practice the first day, so. Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
When I get to the house,
Maybe somebody will be home.
Logan Park's currently 49th, or at least to start the day, 49th.
Bird's nest action on live. It's always good.
Progressive Angler of the Year point. Trey McKinney, number 1.
Both very solid fishermen. We knew that when they got here on the elites.
I did catch them later though in the afternoon. That's not enough shade on this right now.
49th in AOY, Tommy, and 9th out of 10 in Rookie of the Year. Because right now 9 are within the classic shot. And Tim Doobie's only 20 points behind Logan, so he's probably in AOY, he's not 49th.
They might all make it into the classic this year.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Tim Doobie's 59th, so all 10 rookies in the top 59.
Whatever happened to paying your dues before you got to the class?
That's the opens now.
Good point.
It really is a true statement.
You leave the opens with a few less hairs on your head and tight shoulders from the stress, and you get welcome to the Elite Series and a little bit more prepared, ideally. And Davey knows this. When you're desperate to succeed, especially in the competition like the Opens, every single stone's going to be unturned. Every strategy, every opportunity. So the guys that, hey, electronics aren't my gig, I better learn them. And then they get to the elites and they're ready to go.
It is a great university to go to learn how to be a top-level pro. That's for sure. John Cruz, who's been matriculating in this top level for a long, long time, is on top today, just as he was 8 years ago in 2016 right here on Wheeler. Cliff Prince hanging in there tough. Spot number 2, and John Garrett, who's won already this year down at the Harris Chain in Florida, holding down 3rd place.
Discover the Dakota Lithium DL Plus 135 amp hour battery. With dual-purpose 135 amp hour deep cycle capacity and an impressive 1,000 cold cranking amps, this innovative battery is equipped with even heat technology,